This is DREO BaristaMaker Air. It's an electric milk frother for home that on paper is easy to use and versatile. I previously made a video about another product from DREO, a similar milk frother, but is another model that you can find in the link right here. The Air version is more compact compared to the other model, but more or less it works in the same way. It has a control panel with LED indicator which indicates different ways you can froth the milk or prepare other beverages. We have the dairy froth, which you can use if you want to froth the milk for latte art or to have a thick foam or even a cold foam. Same here for non-dairy products, latte art, thick foam and cold foam. And then we have the stir mode, which can be hot or cold. In this control panel you can press only two buttons, the menu button where you need to touch to scroll and select the mode that you want to use, and the start stop button to start or stop the program. Inside you can find the maximum level reference marks, which are different depending on which mode you want to use the machine. And depending on different marks, we can fit different volume of liquid. For example, for the latte art foam, if we follow the level, the volume is around 170 to 200 ml. For the thick foam is around 120 ml, and the level here is quite low because it creates a big foam, and if you put more liquid it might end up spilling out from the machine while you are using it. And for the stir mode you can fit 270 ml, and this is because the frothing is not as powerful as when you use it for the thick foam. As the previous model, the BaristaMaker Air has two frothing tips: the impeller tip for the latte art mode and the disc tip for the thick foam, hot and cold, and also the stir mode. The impeller tip has these sort of wings, let's call it wings, that have the mission to keep the foam low and don't make the milk froth too much, like otherwise it happens with the thick foam mode. And this gives you the possibility to have a texture of milk that is suitable for latte art. Using the machine, it's pretty easy. Place the tip inside, like for example the impeller tip if you want to make a latte. Then pour the milk or non-dairy products until the level suggested. Place the body unit on the electric base, and then with the menu button scroll until you select the mode you want to use. With the impeller tip, of course, you have two modes, the dairy latte art and the non-dairy latte art. Once the LED indicator is on the mode that you want to use, just press the start button and the machine will do its job. Same for the disc tip. Insert, pour, select and start. It's always suggested to use fresh milk and at cold temperature for a better result. And if you're using a non-dairy product, it's always suggested to use a barista version so that can foam better, because not all the non-dairy milk can foam. The time it takes to froth or stir depends on the mode. For the latte art program it takes 3 minutes and 20 seconds. For the thick foam program 2 minutes and 30 seconds. For the cold foam 2 minutes, and that is the same for the cold stirring mode. And finally for the hot stirring mode it takes 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Temperature wise, I always get the milk at around 63 to 66 degrees Celsius, and that is for both latte art and thick foam, which is good for a good quality foam, especially for latte art, because higher temperature will denature the milk proteins, making them lose the stability of foaming. Now, the Barista Air doesn't have the integrated jug with a spout and handle like the other model. If you want to pour a design in your cup, you need a separate jug. A 14 ounces jug is enough to fit the milk and pour it comfortably. To get a good result in design, you need to use a cup that is smaller than 10 ounces, because with a cup of that size, the milk is just enough. You will reduce the milk wastage, but you might end up with a bad design, while with an 8 ounces cup, the result can be satisfying. Now, the quality of foam, I need to be honest, it's not great. It's okay, but it's not great. That also depends on the kind of milk you are using and also how fussy you are with that. Regarding the thick foam, it's very thick. If you like your coffee fluffy, that might work very well for you. The cold foam, still my favorite. I said that already in the other video and I say it here as well, but I have to say that the other model produce a better, thicker cold foam. That of course depends on the kind of milk you're using. For a good result, you should use a milk with a higher percentage of proteins and a lower percentage of fat, because the higher content of protein will create more foam and the lower percentage of fat will make this foam more stable. About the stir mode, I use it only to make hot chocolate, which is good. What I do, I place the disc tip and then I put the milk on the level suggested, a couple of teaspoons of cocoa powder, then I start the machine and then I add another teaspoon of cocoa powder while the machine is working. At halfway of the program, I like to add half teaspoon of cornstarch to make the hot chocolate thicker. In the end, I get a nice result in the cup and also it's very easy to make. But you can do more with this stirring mode, like for example matcha or chai and other stuff. You can also find some recommendations in the user guide, which is very useful. Regarding cleaning, I suggest cleaning the machine right after use to avoid build-up of milk on the bottom. Use a soft sponge to wash the internal part with some dish soap products. Avoid using steel wool and other material that may scratch the internal part or even the external part of the machine. It's important not to soak the jug body or put any water on the bottom, and also do not wash the power base. And that's the DREO BaristaMaker Air. It's versatile, it's easy to use, it doesn't create a very good latte art foam, but a good thick and cold foam. One thing to keep in mind is the quality of milk you're using. For the best result, use fresh and cold dairy milk, and for a non-dairy products, choose a barista version. Trust me, because it makes a huge difference. And keep in mind that your cup size can impact your latte art success. The price on their website is at $60 and you can find it also on Amazon for the same price or even cheaper depending on different deals. And this is very in line or even cheaper compared to similar machines from different brands that more or less do the same job. So if you're interested in this kind of product, I think that this is a good option to consider. I personally still prefer frothing my milk with a French press. Maybe I should do a video about comparing the two methods. Do you think that could be interesting? Let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in my next videos, and in the meantime I wish you a wonderful day and delicious coffee. Ciao!